Praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans, the number one, at David G. Evans 1. So glad you could take the time to join us today. Won't you please help us as we take this On Point journey together? Like us, if you will. Subscribe to us. Doesn't cost you a thing. Give us a thumbs up today. Help us. We need at least 1,000 likes today. Subscription doesn't cost you anything. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time that an On Point conversation is on. We're looking forward to our new format and what that's going to produce for you, our On Point podcast. Going to have a great time as usual. We're lining up some wonderful guests to come on and talk to us, especially in the environment that we're in. We're going to get some of the people that we need to talk to us and give us an update and keep us informed as to not just what's going on in our nation, but how to navigate the best way to process things that we're going through, things that we're seeing happen. We wanted to hear from you today. Our legacy callers are always so faithful, but we want our new callers to call us in. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267, 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call here on Point. We love having a conversation with you about those things that are on your mind, on your heart today. My world-famous co-host, Pastor Nicholas Smith, is here today. Hey, man, how you?
Good morning. Good morning.
A lot going on, my brother.
Yeah.
A lot going on. I was in a meeting 2 Mondays ago, I guess now. The Monday before Prior God, with the Congressional Black Caucus, and we were talking about, what was happening. They were convinced that even though there were a lot of denials going on by Republicans saying that what they weren't going to vote for, that eventually they were going to vote for them. And I saw the ambiguity in some of them. I can't. And it often makes me wonder, maybe this is a little conspiratorial, but has it ever made you wonder, these guys have like secrets and stuff that they don't want revealed, or what do they have on them that would make them betray the very people that got them elected? And I know we've been asking the question about why are the Republicans doing all this before the midterms? And the only thing I can come up with is that they think maybe they might be able to do something to either undermine the voting or stop people from voting altogether. Because I remember the president saying, you won't have to worry about voting after this. I remember him saying that. So I'm wondering, what do you think? What do you think is the brazenness? If getting elected is the top 3 priorities of every politician, they're doing a lot of stuff, not unless they have assumed that no matter what we do to them, they're going to vote for us anyway.
That's my thought.
Do you think that's it?
Yes, because they've shown it.
It's pretty consistent.
Their hubris has allowed them to think they're going to be in office forever.
Okay.
Right? But in some places, like McConnell and all those people down there, you see them in office for years and years, even though their constituents are suffering. With this bill being passed, I respect the Republicans that didn't vote for it because they said this is not good, because a lot of this is going to hurt the states that voted for Trump more than the blue states like New York, New Jersey, California.
But they all voted for it in the end, right?
Well, some I believe
one guy resigned.
He abstained, yes.
One guy
resigned. It was only like 2. One guy resigned. Yeah,
the no votes, they went away because there was 9 of them at one point.
Yeah, and I think 2 of them didn't vote for it. I got to confirm. I think I saw it yesterday.
Okay.
Because their point was, of course, the debt going up by trillions.
Yeah.
And in those places like Kentucky and all those places, they're going to shut down so many of those health clinics.
Yep.
So now the people are going to have to travel 10 miles to go to the hospital. Imagine having a heart attack, and you got to wait for the ambulance to come from miles away to come to your house to take you to a whole nother city.
Yeah.
You better pray and hope.
Look, in my hometown, Chester, there are now no hospitals.
That's right. The closest, yeah.
The closest hospital is Riddle Memorial in Media, with no traffic or moderate traffic.
Yeah.
That's about a 30-minute ride.
Yep.
So you're talking 30 minutes to get to you if you're in Chester, and then a 30-minute ride back. So an hour before you ever reach a hospital.
Yep.
A lot of people are going to die.
Same thing in Salem County.
Okay.
My aunt's in the medical field down here, and she was telling me yesterday how they're shutting down a lot of the stuff in Salem County because it's one of the poorest counties in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to travel some of those southern parts of Jersey to Delaware or all the way up here to Cooper.
Wow.
Just to get certain services.
That's an hour.
Yeah. So this bill is going to hurt a lot of the lower class people.
Yeah, but they're not. I saw a guy yesterday. He was being facetious, but he was saying how he asked the question, "Is your racism costing you enough yet?"
Yeah.
And that's a real question because, from what I can see, the Lyndon Johnson assertion years ago is true today.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
But what I'm also watching is there are a few key people in this administration who come from very impoverished backgrounds. They have totally distanced themselves from where they've come from. And I don't know, myself, I'll never disconnect myself from the projects.
Yeah.
But it seems these guys want to disconnect themselves from Appalachia, from, rural Kentucky, from, I'm not a part of that.
Yeah.
But they've got relatives that still live there. I don't understand how you abandon who you are.
Yeah.
Once you get where you are.
Yep. It's like they talk about it with such resentment.
Yeah.
Like Ben Carson grew up setting projects.
Unbelievable.
Needed government housing, and then all of a sudden they get this mind of, well, I made it out.
Well, what about,
so all y'all?
What about the Supreme Court judge?
Kavanaugh or
no,
not Kavanaugh,
the black guy.
Oh, Clarence Thomas.
Clarence
same
Thomas.
thing.
Hadn't been for EEO. Hadn't been for college supplementations.
Affirmative
hadn't been
action.
For equal opportunity, affirmative action. He wouldn't be a Supreme Court judge.
Yep.
He wouldn't have gotten the education that he got.
Paul Ryan, when he was Speaker of the House.
Absolutely.
But this is what confuses me. Maybe you can help me out with this. So they say we got to stop helping these poor people because they're going to become reliant on it. But wait a minute, Paul Ryan, Ben Carson, you all got it.
They relied on it.
And came out. Why do you assume, so you think you're that special above everybody else that, you got it and made good out of it? Why can't you think other people
did
do
it
the
with
same?
help?
Thank you. And I'm like, what?
They did it with help. So you want to deny folk the opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think at that point when you have people like the surgeon, I can't remember his name. I'm blocking him out. Carson, and you got Justice Thomas. I think part of their success is actually starting to hate who they were.
Yep.
And thinking they're assimilating into who they want to be. And that circle, when they don't realize, they'll never fully be accepted.
Yep. Never.
And they're one of the good ones. But in order to be one of the good ones, you have to deny who you were. Yep. And you have to behave as though you don't know who you are at present.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I think that, how can I say this without being, that kind of shucking and jive, or just that shucking and jiving type thing. Look, what's the guy from South Carolina? He played like he was getting married to run for president. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Him. Scott.
Same
thing. The bill, it's going to be great. And I'm sitting like, bruh, you're right. You have to debase yourself to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, completely.
Completely, to be acceptable to a certain crowd.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to literally appear to hate yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I know I look like it.
Yeah.
I sound like it. My background is similar to theirs.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of them.
That's true. That's true.
It's just, and we've been saying for a while that all this strategy and stuff is really about us. And now I see where Ketanji Brown, is her Jackson or Brown? Ketanji Jackson.
I think it's, something like that.
She descended, of course, on this latest vote. And she wrote a blistering opinion. And that what they really want to do is be able to deport citizens for doing certain things. Now, it also has in there, she says, if perhaps the administration doesn't like you or see you as a troublemaker, they now can deport you.
Yep.
And the removal of a national injunction, our people don't realize what that means. If you don't have the resources to hire legal representation, then you're gone.
Yep.
Because you can get an injunction in the state that you're in, but you've got to be able to hire a lawyer in order to get it done.
Yep. And those types of lawyers cost a lot of money.
Doc, and if you don't have the money, you're on a boat.
And there's a certain crew of this country that are willing to be hurt just to keep another group in line, which is insane to me.
It doesn't make any sense at all. It's psychologically warped.
Yeah.
That how, and we're back to this assertion, has racism cost you enough?
Yeah.
Taking away your medical care, going to hurt your parents. If you got food stamps, forget that.
Yep.
Gonna make public education a joke. When is it enough?
Yep. Because they always think about it's not gonna happen to me.
But it's happening to them.
That's the thing. And some of them, they were like, oh, yeah, this is going to help cut Medicare fraud and da-da-da-da. And they didn't realize, I didn't know this. Well, I'm not old enough for Medicare, but I didn't realize this, that Medicare is something, you probably know this, it's called something different in every state. So they're like, ooh, so they're going to cut that. And people are like, fool, that's Medicare in your state.
It's like it's the Affordable Care Act.
Yes. Yeah.
They call it Obamacare. I literally heard people say, I'm against Obamacare, but I'm for the Affordable Care Act. Listen, did you know they're the same thing? No, they're not. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So you voted against your own health plan. Now, mind you, where is this revolutionized health plan that the president, president administration was supposed to have?
From the first term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't want a certain segment. They don't want to spend the money for it.
Yep.
Let's talk about Christian nationalism for a second. So I'm watching the racist Christians. That's really what it is. Continue to throw Jesus' name around. What did they do? Because you read more about this stuff than I do. About Christ saying, if you do something to one of these kids, you've done it to me. Did you come see me when I was in jail? Did you take care of me when I was sick? When I didn't have clothing, did you give me some? You've studied them more than I have. Where do nationalist Christians put that in their lexicon of what I believe about Jesus?
Their mental, I just heard a video about it yesterday. Their mental gymnastics is they're illegal and they broke the law. So they shouldn't be afforded the same opportunities and the same benefits.
So Jesus only benefited legal folk?
Thank you.
So all of us were illegal at one time as it related to the kingdom. It said aliens to the kingdom. Did Jesus care at all about what kind of alien you were?
No.
Or did he deal with the whosoever?
He dealt with the whosoever.
All right, so when he fed 5,000, did he pick out who was acceptable and who wasn't? Okay, I'm just trying to get close to the biblical premise that they're operating under. It seems to me that they're proof texting.
They are.
What we used to call it back in the day. Yeah. They're picking out what they want, not talking about what they don't want. Or they're even changing Jesus into someone else other than who he is biblically.
Yeah, they are. We're not reading the same Bible.
Okay.
Because their thought is this new evangelical group is reminding me of the old school Pentecostals.
They need to get another name other than evangelical. That's not working.
Yeah. This new Christian nationalism group is reminding me of the old school Pentecostals.
Okay.
Hard judgment on sin, hard condemnation.
Yeah.
Because all these people, watch this, are messing up our country, and almost like Handmaid's Tale. The reason why our country wasn't blessed is because these LGBTQ, these minorities, and da-da-da. To them, we have to reset America so we can get back to this glorious America, which we never were in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, can y'all stop it, please? America has been in some type of war or conflict. I think I read almost 90% of its existence.
Wow.
Has
involved somewhere.
Some war, some conflict somewhere. Some issue with racism, some issue with women, some issue with... To them, it's take it back to this fake, glorious past.
I marvel at the craftsmanship of how they molded and managed the LGBTQ plus argument. We're talking about less than 1% of the whole population. And people that already have a prejudice are able to think that they are dominating society, dominating schools, taking over everywhere. It's numerically impossible.
Right, absolutely.
But there's such a paranoia, and they use that fear to make folk think that, every school's in danger. Well, they're not.
They're not. It's not.
1%. They said out of some crazy hundreds of thousands of athletes, there may be 9 or 10 in the nation out of maybe 1.5 million athletes in the country. 9 or 10 people.
But they know how
we're taking over athletics.
They know how to hone in on
the insecurity
of people.
And I think that a lot of homophobic men are insecure men about their masculinity. And what I'm seeing among our politicians, some of them, not all of them, some of them, is that the ones that are hard charging the most are the most insecure about their own selves. And like that Jordan guy, and they found out he was all involved in some crap at Ohio State. Okay.
And that the Republican back in Minnesota that time where he was in the bathroom and he moved his foot under the stall. Remember the story I'm talking about? He was one of them hard guys too. But again, the thing that you criticize the most is usually the thing
it's pretty consistent.
It's pretty consistent across the board.
Pretty consistent.
People, their hindsight is based off their perspective and what they want to see. It's like glamorizing something.
What is it? Confirmation bias?
Confirmation bias.
Right.
That never existed. I mean, and then as a country, we never think about how we played a role in creating some of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Let me take black people for example. This is no way justifying some of the ills in the black community.
Okay.
You ever notice when you study history, before they start segregating black people into like, what's the high-rise buildings called? Like Chicago and other places. You know what I'm talking about? Creating the projects.
Right.
There was no quote-unquote black-on-black crime.
Really?
Not to say that black people didn't have crimes against each other, but you notice there was never this big issue of hood crimes and ghettos.
Until they created the vertical ones.
They started creating these things, right? Those vertical towers and these other... Let's put all of you impoverished people in one location. Right? Let's flood them with drugs. Low opportunities. Now, I'm not taking away personal responsibility.
Okay.
I'm just kind of showing like both sides of it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, these issues started being created. You couldn't get food stamps if a man was living in the house.
That's true.
So the man, again, not justifying. I'm just stating realities. Man stops living there.
They weren't officially resident.
Stuff starts happening.
Okay.
So as a country, I'm saying, as people, we got to take personal responsibility for our actions.
I've always had an issue with that.
That part too, but also at the same time, we have to look at our country and say too, that there were some elements of things that happened to help push this a little faster.
But agreeing with you.
Not justifying it.
Agreeing with you, and we need to make that plain. I get, you had a suburban upbringing. I lived in the projects in Chester. So my project experience was different earlier in the projects than it was later in the projects. And what I mean by that, my early experience and exposure to the projects was yes, we were all poor. There was no trash anywhere. All the yards were cut, manicured the best you could, took care of the property. There was no graffiti. I mean, absolutely none. It was everybody had mutual responsibility for the neighborhood.
Yep.
We spent the whole summer with our doors open because no one had air conditioning. So you could go to the store, leave your house open. You didn't have to worry about somebody breaking in. So, and there was racism and prejudice going on all around.
Yep.
But we didn't turn on ourselves. I get societal influences. I absolutely understand that. But does that mean we have to take the low road?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's what I'm saying. It's all of it's kind of like webbed in together. And then you have a new generation that grows up that didn't go through what your generation went through.
Yeah.
There was a certain pride to how you looked, how you did things.
Absolutely.
Because you didn't want to disappoint. But then
we're setting examples for those coming after us.
Yes. Then a new generation comes up without the same struggles. And then, like you said before, who do the black men want to model in the community?
But back then, Pastor Nick, we weren't attracted to the ratchetness of another culture.
Right.
We shied away from that. No, this is what you want to do. This is how you want to be. This is what you aspire to. But this lane we're in now, the worse it is, the more attracted we are to it. And I don't understand it. But then we blame other people for our condition.
Yes. And I think that's where there was the civil rights movement garnered black people, gave pride. As it started to taper off, you started to see a new generation come up without the same struggles.
You know what you're implying.
And
you're implying that when the pressure started easing up, we lost our compass. 866-743-8267-866. That was good. 743-8267-866. 7 for Evans. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We love to talk to you this morning. We've got Robin from Bear, Delaware, Tom from Fort Lauderdale, and we are going to Robin. Good morning, Robin.
Morning.
Well, good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick. How y'all doing this morning?
Great. How are you today?
Good. This is your Bethany Baptist News reporter.
Welcome back.
Oh, I've been wanting to say that. Crystal was like, girl, stop, you crazy. But, Pastor Nick, first, have you gotten the emails that I sent you?
Yes, I didn't get a chance to go through them all, though.
Okay, that's fine, because I figured you're busy, getting information to get to On Point. So just in case you didn't, see certain things. So I figured I would help you out.
I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So first, let me just say this, Bishop, and Pastor Nick. The POG, Lord Jesus.
Wasn't it wonderful?
The last one that spoke, all of it was really good because a lot of them spoke on what you had been talking about. Now, the last one Friday, I always forget his name.
Nelson. Bishop Nelson, yep.
Bishop Nelson.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. When he started teaching from Job, I was like, okay, Bishop been teaching on Job. He just, gave confirmation. But all of it was good. I had to watch it 2 times.
Wow.
I couldn't even sleep after I watched each message. It was just so powerful, really so powerful, Bishop.
The Lord blessed us.
Yes.
Crowds were great. Our musical guests were great. Our own music ministry was fabulous. Our drama ministries, all our media people, our social media group. It was just a wonderful 3 days.
Yes, it was. And Smokey Norfolk, that's one of my favorite artists. And John P. Key.
Yeah.
Woo!
They did a wonderful job.
Yeah, everything was good. But I don't know if Pastor Nick, because I didn't really get on at the beginning, so I don't know if you already, spoke about this. But I saw it on a clip on Facebook. A young lady was saying that Miami Rep Mayor canceled November election till 2026. And what she was saying is always supposed to be from odd to even. And she was saying that this is illegal because the people are supposed to vote before they cancel a November election.
I think one of the things that you'll see that's happening is that they are taking advantage of the slow nature of the judicial system. So what they're willing to do is put something in place, and the issue is that now, say that a judge in Florida says no to that. He can only say no to that for Florida. He can't say no to that for a national injunction. So what they're banking on, Robin, is the slowness of the response of the legal system. It's like this. We were just talking about, the time it's going to take for people to get back and forth to the hospital. So now you appeal it on Monday, and it's 9 months before you get a decision. So that whole 9 months, what they've illegally decided is a part of your life. And you have to wait 9 months. It's like the young man that just came back from the prison, and he's describing what he went through down there. Well, they had to bring him back, but he lost 9 months of his life, or however many months, and brutalized while he was in prison. So what they're banking on is, I'm going to do it, and we'll just see how it works out.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, I was born in the '60s, or '61. This is like, it seems this is worse than the '60s. What we went through, Bishop.
Well, they're trying.
I mean, I know you're younger than me, but
it feels like the America they thought was great was the America that triggered the civil rights movement. That's what it feels like. So we have to, those of us that are people of faith, we know that we serve a God that is ultimately in control. And it's difficult for me to believe that this much harm can be done to this many people and God not work this thing out. I cannot begin to believe that the God I know in the Bible is going to let this run, because you see kingdoms in the Bible that do wrong, it looks like for a moment, and then God brings his solution to the problem.
He's working behind the scenes, Bishop.
Yeah, I know. There's no way for me to believe that he's not working. Now, it doesn't stop people from attempting to do things, but the final say is going to be his, and especially those people that are harming people in his name. That's just not going to. That's not going to work.
It's not.
It's not going to work.
Well, I'm going to leave these two things with you, and then I'm done.
You already had to.
Anyhow, Bishop, I'm the reporter for y'all, but no, I'm going to get off these two things. Where is it? The Texas House Democrat was speaking to the GOP Alan Schoolcraft, and he lashes out because he was saying, asking Democrats, why are they trying? He was saying, why are you trying to take money from the neediest Texas students? So the GOP said, are you saying they're dumb, or there's some reason that they need extra money? Then, what's his name? Tuberville says inner city rats live off the American taxpayers. Trump should send them back home. I wanted to cuss in private, and I know God heard me, but these two, they going to reap what they sow. People going to reap what they sow. They got to be careful what they're saying.
Well, I think that the thanks for calling us, Rob. I think the.
All right, y'all have a blessed day. Love you guys.
The contradiction is this. I watched these politicians passionately say why they could not vote for the bill. It's going to hurt these people. It's going to hurt that people. So in my mind, why are they willing to admit that what they did is going to hurt hundreds of thousands in the states that they represent? What is it about their position? What is it about their personal interest that made them make the choice? Either they're believing they're not going to get unelected, or they believe that their constituents are going to follow them no matter what. And back to my question to you, is that racial component that strong?
It is. It is. It really is.
How much do you think racism is going to have to cost people?
Yep.
You know, medical care,
Mm-hmm.
you know, relationships,
Mm-hmm.
kids can't eat. I mean, what?
Yeah. What was that thing the example you used years ago about was it the horse versus the mule or the donkey? Was it mule?
It's horses and mules.
Okay.
They're different.
Mm.
If a mule wants to get you off its back, mule will run up to a ditch and throw you in.
Mm.
If a horse wants to get you off his back,
Mm.
it'll jump in the ditch, kill himself and you too.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing a lot of horses.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely are.
Okay.
And it's consistent across the board. As long as you take care of these 2 or 3 things, we'll let you do whatever else to me.
Incredible.
But you know what's crazy though? But you know what's crazy though?
What?
This is the thing that gets me. Reading Vance's book
Okay.
really highlighted this. When something bad happens in the black community or another minority community, it's a problem of the people. If the same thing happens in their community, it's the government's fault.
System problem.
It's a system problem.
Yep.
Because they can't believe.
With us, it's behavior. With
Yes.
them, it's the system.
The system. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that I was furious, but you hear them talk like that.
Well, you know, the logic about dropping bombs on Iran,
Mm-hmm.
I heard a politician say clearly, that one Rubio, I heard him say verbatim, we did not declare war on Iran. We declared it on their nuclear program.
So if I run up and throw something at your house, I'm not.
It doesn't have a thing to do with you. My car can sit in your living room because I was mad at you.
Mm.
But you got to not take it personally.
Yeah.
You know, you wrecked my house, but
Yeah, I'm mad at your house, not you.
I'm mad at your house.
And I heard the bombs didn't even do anything really.
They didn't do what they said they did. Of course, they had to lie about the result. Like we Americans are not the only intelligent people in the world.
Yep.
And these other nations have been in survival mode forever.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually think you're going to threaten to do it, and all my good stuff is going to sit in the same place?
Right, exactly. Come on.
We are so egotistical
We are.
and arrogant when it comes to other nations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this not caring about human life. I had this debate with someone the other day. I said, you and I, in our own life, cannot make a decision about a dollar that's not connected to an individual's life.
Mm-hmm.
Every decision we make about a dollar is connected to someone's life.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Mm-hmm.
How do you decide I'm gonna cut $1 billion from Medicaid?
Yeah.
Try to convince us that the only people on Medicaid, $1 billion worth, are illegal immigrants.
Yep.
Come on.
Come on. Yes. And fraud. Yes.
Yes.
Like.
And the only people on there are criminals. Really?
Really? I know. They know how to paint something.
They don't respect our intelligence as people, as American people.
Yeah.
And we've given them reason
Absolutely.
to disrespect our intelligence.
Yeah. The delusion is high.
Can you call it that? Is there another word?
Deception. I don't know what you want to call it.
I think the word delusion would be offended if we use it referring to what we're dealing with. 866-743-8267. This is On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. We're going to one of our favorite callers, Tom from Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Bishop? How you doing, Pastor Nick?
Hey, man.
Doing all right, man. Good to hear your voice. How's things in Florida?
Good. I just coming off a little COVID. You know, it's not COVID-19 anymore. It's COVID whatever. But it had me down for about a week.
You had COVID?
Had COVID. Couldn't get to you guys. Couldn't call in.
People think it's not out here, but it's still out here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I was in the hospital for 4 days. So it was,
Really?
Wow.
yeah, it's no joke.
My goodness, are you being a little more cautious now?
Oh, wearing the mask again.
Look, I wore one, and still when I go into certain environments, I have my mask in my back pocket.
I keep the hand sanitizer with me.
There's nothing to play with.
Yeah. The Bishop, you were saying something earlier. You said lost your compass.
Yeah.
My father told me years ago. I don't think he used it. I know he didn't use the same terminology. Lost your compass, because we've lost some things. Because we're able to move wherever we want.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave the old neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to shop wherever we want.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't go to the black grocer or the black doctor anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was part of losing your compass. Once integration came in, we were able to spread out and do what we wanted, not taking care of our own as once we had to do.
I agree with you. It set in a silent denial of identity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm less like where I grew up. And for some people, that meant almost cutting off that part of their history, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still go to the same barber in Chester that I started going to when I was 16 years old. I still go to the hood, and I still know a lot of people there. And it's pre-COVID, used to preach down there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
People would turn out because I'm the guy from the fairground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you have to disconnect yourself from your history just to make a little progress in your life. To me, it's a very, very, very profound signal of disloyalty and losing any compassion for the people that are still where you were raised.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I
agree. I don't agree with everything Dr. Umar says, but
I don't agree with much he says.
When he gets on some stuff, he's the one who highlighted, to me, when I first heard it, how segregation hurt black people, how integration hurt black people. And he said our need for acceptance was so high, we forgot about our own people and started shopping everywhere else, like Tom says. And then we wonder why the neighborhood is so impoverished now, because you took all the money out of it.
But then we protest when other people come in, build businesses, and make money.
There you go. You took all the money out.
I think we also thought things are better when they're different. They're not better. Some things are different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can integrate and still not forget about
who you are,
where you came from.
Yeah.
But they say the black dollar goes through our neighborhood like within a couple days. The Jewish dollar goes like 21 days. It circulates through its own culture before it goes out.
Right.
Then we wonder why.
I know.
Bishop.
Yes.
On the vote, Paul Ryan was one of the guys who didn't, but he called out the lady from Alaska, the senator, and she had to be honest. He called her out. He said the only reason she's voting yes on this bill because they put pork in it for her.
Absolutely.
And she said, well. Then she finally said, I have to take care of my people, which I thought was the first honest answer I heard from one of these people.
But then here's the problem I had with her answer, her response. First off, I thought she was paralyzed by the question. It took her a minute to get herself together. And then, I hate the bill, but I voted yes. And I realized my yes vote, and this is my word, is going to disadvantage millions of people.
Yes, but I got my porch.
Unbelievable.
Also, did you hear, I don't know if you listened to the president yesterday, but since he's been president, the military has more recruits compared to Biden, which was its lowest, and with more police applying.
Why?
Since he's president. Well, NBC did a fact check. All lies.
I'm sure.
Bishop, he was at West Point.
Who?
Trump was, sorry.
Okay.
Talking to the graduates at West Point.
Okay.
Who came in during the Biden administration.
Right.
And told them that people weren't joining the military like they used to. Now, mind you, he's just been in office since January.
It was actually higher under Biden.
They all came in under Biden.
Right.
But all of a sudden, I'm like.
So he's responsible for that class.
But there's so many people who are not going to listen to the fact check and believe everything he said.
Well, the other thing is this. I think you have to. I don't listen to a newscast or even read a magazine or a paper without asking questions while I'm listening or reading. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I say to myself all the time, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I got to double check that. And why I think people emotionally choose the point of view that they want to agree with.
Absolutely. Confirmation bias, Yep,
doesn't matter how crazy it is.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, we got to let you go, man.
Hey, Bishop,
of course, everybody's waited till the last minute to call. Yes?
Oh, no, the president dropped an F-bomb last week. I don't know if Nick heard him say it, but...
Who?
President dropped an F-bomb.
Trump did. He dropped the F-bomb.
Why?
I couldn't believe it.
It was doing, I think it was talking about Iran, right? Was it talking about Iran?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the president of the United States.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Thank you, Tom.
I know.
We should be talking to Derek from Camden. Are you there, Derek? Hello, Derek.
Hey, how you doing, Bishop?
All right, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You sound a little slow this morning, Derek.
Yeah.
No, it's just my voice changing because I got a cold.
Okay. All right, you taking care? You taking care of yourself?
Yeah, I'm taking care of myself.
Okay, what's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, I went to Camden Hyde Park on the 29th because it was my son's anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw my kids for the first time, and they ran up to me and gave me a hug because they ain't seen me in I don't know how long way.
And?
Yeah, my son and my daughters gave me a hug because they didn't see me in a while.
Okay.
So how y'all been doing today?
We're doing good, man.
Yeah.
Glad to hear your voice. You're doing better.
Yeah, I'm doing much better.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'm doing much better. I went out and saw the fireworks at downtown.
How was it?
Beautiful. It was beautiful.
Good. I'm glad to hear. You going to stay in tomorrow so you don't give everybody a call?
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay in tomorrow.
All right.
I ain't got nowhere to go.
All right, so you just have to watch us on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch y'all.
Okay.
Because I have a PlayStation 5 and I can watch y'all on my TV.
Oh, good.
Cool.
That blue is nice on you.
Huh?
Said the blue is nice on you.
Thank you, man.
That blue is nice on you.
Thank you, man. Did you see the men Sunday?
Yeah, I seen it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was good.
It was wonderful. Oh, my God, it was wonderful.
Well, good talking to you, man.
See you.
Okay.
Bye-bye now. We're going to Kay from Jasper, Georgia. Hello, Kay.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to On Point.
Hi. I just want to comment on the young black people.
Okay.
Today, because we have this conversation just about every day, my son and I.
Mm-hmm.
They know nothing. And, you were talking about you grew up in the project and how you kept it clean and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Today, it was the same day before. Same thing. Even though I didn't grow up in the project, we grew up in the rural area in Sugar Valley, in Cartersville, Georgia. And everybody had pride about themselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything was clean. They kept it clean. I rode through where my granddaughter lived there for a minute, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I can see you saying that.
Yeah. And I'm not really prejudiced, But when it was totally black,
Mm-hmm.
everything was up to par. But once they start bringing everybody else in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not talking about Hispanic, it became trashy.
I understand.
Yeah, but the thing I'm saying, I think we got laughed, and like you said, we thought white was better.
Mm-hmm.
Everything white was better, and we left the black businesses. We left them.
We lost our compass.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we see the results of that.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
as a group, we walked away from God too. It was one of the things that made us unique.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Made us strong. Made us unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the church was the center of activity. It was the barometer for morality and rules and structure and
everything.
Yeah, and when we moved away from God, now you see us being more and more godless.
Yeah.
But people are getting a revelation now. They're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Praise God, because my son was saying that love hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
That it set black people back 2,000 years.
Where's Jasper, Georgia? Before I let you go, what's it near?
Blue Ridge.
Okay.
LJ.
Got it.
Where the apples are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you called us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I won't. Let me just say this: I love you and Pastor Nick.
Bless you.
And
Thank you.
pray for you, and y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you, ma'am. Love you too.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
We're going to Charlene from Rockland City, New York. I need to know where Rockland City is. Hi, Charlene.
Yeah.
Charlene.
Yes. Yeah. Hello.
Charlene, hi. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Welcome to On Point this morning.
Thank you. You guys wonderful. Miss you guys a lot. I know you are short on time. I just wanted to get your input with the person in the White House.
Okay.
I know he's not that intelligent, but just looking at how, we can't have criminal charges against him once he's president, because he's protecting the country supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
How Florida wants to postpone elections. Starting a war, a quote unquote, a nuclear against your nuclear system, not your country.
Mm-hmm.
Turning military against citizens.
Mm-hmm.
All these like chess moves, so that comes around the next presidential election, there will be no election. Because didn't he say at one point, we won't have to worry about?
He did say that. He did say that. What I think, Charlene, I could be totally wrong about this, and I'm ready to be corrected. The dropping the bombs and all that historically has been a way to distract American people from the conditions in America.
Mm-hmm.
The sending troops to California, another way to distract the national attention away from the issues and away from the bill that they managed to pass. In addition to the fact, I watched dozens of politicians say they could never vote for it, either for the medical reasons or the debt reasons, and all of them ended up. All that was just distraction. They knew what they were going to do. So confusion is a method of moving the national consciousness away from what's being done. That's all it is. All you're looking at it, the Bible calls it smoke. So we're watching very skillfully manipulating or attempting to manage the psyche of the American public, to move them away from don't worry about your medical care, don't worry about kids getting fed, don't worry about any of that. You just need to worry about 1% of the population taking over the whole country, which is not going to happen. You need to worry about 10 athletes out of all the athletes in the nation taking over the athletic programs. That's what you need to be focused on. That's all. That's all smoke.
Smoke. And my thing is like, who's causing it? Who's really causing this? Because he's not that intelligent.
Well, he's smarter than you think. You know, he's smarter than you think in that most people that are manipulative have a degree of intelligence. He's a classic example of an individual that's misusing their creativity. So it's not that he's unintelligent, but I do believe that the people that are supporting him are going to get tired of him. They're going to get tired of being afraid, tired of being made to look like fools, tired of getting thrown under the bus. And at some point, they're going to feel like it's not worth it.
Well, I know I'm tired, but we're going to keep hope alive.
It's fatiguing. Where's Rockland City before I let you go?
Rockland County. That's just north of Union Baptist Church, New Rochelle.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
That's Charlene.
So you're not too far from New Rochelle?
No, 30 minutes.
All right. Thanks for calling us today.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.
You too now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Marcella from Lindenwold. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Welcome to On Point.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's your comment today?
My comment is just giving you both, Executive Pastor Nick and yourself, and also want to put Reverend Prescott in there because with all that she's going through, her loss of her brother, everything turned out so beautiful. I'm telling you, I had a chance to do the morning classes, and I especially like the morning class with Reverend Tiffany Smith, Pastor Smith's wife. She is awesome.
I heard it was wonderful.
That class, they were talking about, I think, forgiveness. Let me get it right. Forgiveness and as connected to reunion. I like that.
Yeah.
And she broke it down real good, saying that you can forgive, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be reunited with that person that did you.
Absolutely.
It was beautiful. Everything was beautiful. I don't know if people realize how much it takes to run a big church and all that you do to put that on, but you guys do a fantastic job. And going back to when the church was closed and you were doing the outside, morning prayers and ministry, service, I didn't miss one on a Saturday morning. It kept me afloat.
It was good,
during the pandemic. So I want to say thank you and God bless you both.
Thank you so much for calling. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Our last caller today is Joyce from Sicklerville. Hi, Joyce.
Hi, Bishop. Hi, Pastor Nick. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Just got a few minutes. What's on your mind this morning?
Yeah, my comment is brief. I just want to say thank you guys for the platform that you're providing today about the current situation that's going on in our country.
Mm-hmm.
I live in the Sicklerville area, and I'm riding down Branch Avenue yesterday. I see all these flags and cars, and I'm like, oh, was it a car accident? What's going on? No, they were protesting against Trump at his golf course.
Really?
And the first thing came to my mind is they're all of the Caucasian race.
Mm-hmm.
They're protesting because they all voted for him,
mm-hmm.
and they believe that everything that he said he was going to do was only going to affect our race.
Yeah.
But no, it's affecting all races, especially them. And when you see all of the protests going on all around the country, who do I see out there? Mostly all of them. And if you don't have a strong spiritual foundation to be able to decipher what this man is trying to do, you will lose yourself in this situation.
Sure.
And you will become very confused and just do things that doesn't make any sense. I can't believe that we have a Congress that is allowing this man to do the things that he's doing, and no one is challenging him. And my mind is saying, what type of power does he have over these people that they're so afraid of him?
Well, I think he's got something on a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the FBI and all that have it's only thing possible. I mean, if you see him explaining stuff, Joyce, They look like deer in the headlights when they're. It's almost like they got to go to this memorized response that makes no sense, and they know they look crazy. They have to know.
The worst one is what's his name? Robert Kennedy Jr. He didn't know what Medicaid was. He didn't.
How can you authorize cuts to something you don't even know about?
Yep.
Joyce, we got to go. You got to call us again next week.
Okay, Bishop.
Right.
Take care.
Talk to you
See you guys on Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bless you.
Well, we're coming up to the end of another program. Of course, tomorrow morning is our virtual service at 8. People are still showing up at 8 o'clock.
I know.
Thinking we have a live service. We haven't gone there yet. 11 a.m. is our live in-person service. And tomorrow night, since it's 6 o'clock, since it's first Sunday, is our 6 p.m. communion encounter, our baptism, formally welcome our newest members into the family. It's a great communion celebration. If you swore off communion, you want to inconvenience yourself and come to ours and get another experience. You want to subscribe to On Pointe Podcast on YouTube. We will migrate On Pointe on this page in the very near future. I want to invite you all to get my new book, Elevate. We're getting ready to we can access all POG classes, services, and other content on POG Plus. Visit gotopog.com for more info. That's gotopog.com for more info. Our bookstore is open today. If you need some inspiration during the week, you can text BBC Elevate to 28950. If you just want to know what's going on, text BBC News to 28950. We would love to pray with you. Just send your prayer requests to prayer@gotobethany.com. We want to touch and agree with you. I want you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on YouTube. Also subscribe to DGEMS and On Pointe on all podcast platforms. For Pastor Nicholas Smith, I'm Bishop David G. Evans. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you, and we'll see you next time on Pointe.